Hi everyone, welcome to the Witching Week. Today is episode number 95. Today we're looking at some folklore in relation to crochet and Polish vampires. We're going to be looking at the November full moon, which some people call the Beaver Moon, and we're going to be looking at forming our own opinions within witchcraft. So put some incense on, get comfy, grab a cup of tea, and we'll explore the Witching Week. Hi everyone, welcome back. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I'm Wren. I'm known as the Cemetery Witch because I live on a cemetery in the heart of England, and it is Friday. So we celebrate Friday with the Witching Week. So let's just go through tea and incense first because I always forget this. Today I am drinking blackcurrant and blueberry by Twinings. I bought another box of these mixed fruit teas. I think they have to be my favourite, to be honest. They're really nice. We've got cranberry and raspberry, mango and strawberry, blackcurrant and blueberry, and my favourite, which are the St Clements, which I imagine are orange and lemon. So yeah, I really love these. They're just fresh, they're tasty. I guess they're a little bit sweet, to be honest. You don't even have to add sugar. Yeah, I really like those. I'm not really a tea drinker, as you know, but I don't mind a fruit tea just to warm me up when it's cold, and every Friday on the Witching Week. So I've got some Karma incense, and this is very much the theme of the week, I think. Yeah, let all those who deserve their karma receive it. So yeah, it smells really nice. Not as nice as the Nagchampa or the patchouli forest or some of the other ones that Satya do. I really like the meditation one at the moment. I think that's in like a pale, it's either pale purple or pale green box, but yeah, really enjoying that at the moment. So what's been going on? How's your week been? I'm really sorry I wasn't here last week. I was kind of sort of semi-recovering from Samhain and having such a busy and big month, and also I've been having a few technical issues in terms of videos and space. Every now and then, I've now learned now, so when this happens again I know what to do, but every now and then I have a bit of an issue with some of my Apple devices, and I have not been able to do videos. Basically, I've been able to film one and edit it, and then when it comes to saving it to my device, there's been no space, and I've gone through the whole, you know, deleting pictures, deleting videos, just absolutely cleaning up and tidying up my devices, which does actually take a little bit of time, but I seem to have got the issue under control again now until it pops up again, which will be months and months and months, and then I'll probably, I don't think I will forget this time. Now it's happened twice. I know what the problem is and how to fix it next time. So I'm really sorry that I wasn't here. So I did have to laugh on 31st. I got a text from my dad. I'm sure he won't mind. I'm going to put the exchange up on the screen. I felt a bit bad because I stole his thunder, but I felt like I was allowed to come up with the punchline of his joke. But he asked me, he said, oh, I wondered, do all witches wear name tags? And of course, this is one of the oldest jokes in the book, that yes, we do, because we need to know which witch is which. So that did make me laugh, and I was very impressed with his timing. How was your Samhain? How was your Halloween? What did you do? Did you have any interesting experiences at all? Halloween, we tend to celebrate that when the children are here, and if they're here sort of close to Halloween or on it. We don't get trick-or-treaters. We're in a really weird position on the edge of town, and also the cemetery gets closed at 5 p.m. when it's dark, and especially on Halloween, just to sort of protect it and make sure people aren't coming in and doing silly things. It does mean though that we're all closed up and we get to then crack on with our Samhain observances. We had a traditional dump supper this year, so I've explained before that we've left a placemat for any spirits that might want to pass through, any familial spirits that we're related to, or any good spirits that have good intentions that want to stop and share some food with us. We've done this on a very relaxed basis before, and you could not call it a dumb supper, you would just sort of call it a memorial dinner or something like that. However, this year we had a traditional dumb supper. So we dressed in black, we entered the dining room ceremoniously and left it ceremoniously, and we had complete silence. Now, I've seen a few posts online where people saying that they had a dumb supper and that they enjoyed it because they talked about their loved ones as they had the meal. That's not why it's called a dumb supper. It is a funerary rite, it's an observance, and it is done in complete silence. This is why it's called a dumb supper or a silent supper. Now, obviously, if you attempt to have one with young children, it's not always going to go to plan because it's very, very difficult for them to stay quiet for that amount of time. But yeah, a traditional dumb supper is completely silent without a noise, and you spend your time reflecting on the people perhaps that you love that have passed, and it is an opportunity for spirit to come through, leave messages, communicate, and to just basically think about them and give them the reverence and the respect that they deserve. So yeah, we had ours and it was absolutely beautiful. I was very aware of the sort of the noises that I make while eating, because obviously when you're chewing and stuff, it sounds louder in your head than it might actually sound to the person next to you. But as you get into it, as you get into the process and the reason for doing it, that seems to disappear. And so we set the table, there was an extra placemat, there was food for any of our spirits that chose to join us, and there was a drink, there was some water, and they had their own condiments as well, because I didn't want any disruption on the table. It was easier for Justin and I to sit one end and share those, and then at the other end, at the head of the table, which is the position of respect that the dead deserve, we laid that extra place setting. So really, really nice this year, really enjoyed it, and we had a fantastic month on Patreon. It was super busy. If you are a member of my Patreon and you're watching this video, thank you so much. Thank you for all your support over all of the months that we've been together, but thank you especially for your patience during October. I'm sure there's probably a couple of comments I've missed here and there. I was just so busy kind of pulling it all together and making it work, and it was absolutely fantastic. If you fancy joining us, we are a safe, welcoming, educational community. We're not a debate space, so it's not like other areas on the internet. It's all about the learning, and it's all about the supporting each other as a family within the witchcraft community, but we've built our own. So that was absolutely fantastic. What was your day, your evening, your week like? Let me know. I'd love to hear in the comments. I thought the energy around Samhain was a bit strange actually. Our Samhain itself was very quiet, it was very peaceful, which was lovely, but the general energy, just the way that I sort of felt in my body and how I sort of felt that the world felt, the energy was very unsettled, and I'd say a little bit chaotic. I don't know if there are any astrology buffs out there that are watching. If there are, then please fill us in on why that was. It seems to have settled now, even though there's been a very big week this week for the world, for America, especially with their election. It seems to have settled that chaotic energy that was sort of in the lead up to Samhain and on Samhain, and I would say for a sort of a day or two afterwards. It feels very peaceful now, very settled now. So I'll be honest, because I think it's really important to talk about these things, but I've been feeling a little bit depressed recently. I think some of it is the dark. I don't mind the dark itself, but I just am less energetic and productive than when I am with longer days. You know, I wake up later, I feel sleepier earlier. I don't have enough hours in the day at the moment, sort of in relation to my energy levels to do everything that I need to do in terms of keeping up with people. So like responding to text messages, I can be a bit slow, and that makes me sad because I don't want to be that way. And just not having enough energy really to keep me afloat and to keep me going with the work that I have and work that really I need to do and need to find. So we're coming up to the festive season. I'm not really feeling it at the moment, if I'm honest. From a financial point of view, I've been put in a bit of an awkward situation, which is why I started my business when I did. Obviously, I make the decisions in life, they're my responsibility, but Sometimes you find out that you can't trust people and they let you down, and now I'm in a bit of an awkward situation. So my husband's been enjoying his preparations for the festive season because, you know, he's able to do that, but for me, I'm finding it really difficult, and my mind also goes to loved ones that will be missing or that I won't see. So yeah, it's a difficult time of year for me. I sort of enjoyed it last year. You know, there was lots going on, there was lots to look forward to at that point. This year, for me personally, is going to be a little bit more difficult. So I'm trying to keep my pecker up, I'm trying to be positive about it, but yeah, with all the challenges that come at winter, I'm not finding it easy, and then with some serious health challenges that I'm facing at the moment that are just really just, it's like my wings have been clipped, but I have got a light at the end of the tunnel where that's concerned. But I need a little bit of cheering up at the moment. It will pass, I'm sure, and once we get past Christmas and Yule. But yeah, I thought I'd put it out there because it's really important to talk about these things, isn't it? I think so. I have been doing some self-care though. I have made sure that I haven't got sort of caught up in the energy of the election, because I knew that if the outcome wasn't what I wanted, then I would most likely get quite depressed about that. And I have been trying to put a little bit of time aside, even if I haven't completed all my tasks. I've just been a bit kind to myself, and I've been putting a little bit of time aside to do a little bit of crochet. And I told you about this before. I was doing a project for someone else at that point. Now I've started a project for me at home. So this is either going to go on the bed, or it's going to be big enough to keep us all warm on the sofa. But I don't know if you can see this. I have started an absolutely humongous blanket. It is huge. It's huge. I've had to fold it up. It's so big, and it's about a quarter of the way through. So it's going to be absolutely humongous. But I saw a little bit of folklore in the week. I've seen it before, but it popped up again, and I thought it was really nice. So it's the idea that we leave a little bit of our soul in any project that we knit or crochet or nail bind. So the idea is we want to avoid this. I don't want to leave my soul in this project, as nice as it is, and it does contain my heart and soul, but we want to leave an area where the soul can escape. So what we do is we work in a mistake, so a little hidden mistake, we work in somewhere, and then that gives a little space for a little area, a little window for the soul to escape. So apparently this is something that's common all over the world. So the Northern Europeans believe this, First Nations tribes, and it's common, in England, Ireland, America, those parts of the world. I also stumbled across another little bit of folklore this week about a Polish vampire. So I thought this was really sweet, but really sad as well. It was quite bittersweet. So there was a lady, a young woman, aged about 18 to 20, who was buried about 400 years ago. She was discovered in an unmarked cemetery in 2022, and they have named her Zosia, and it would appear that she was a vampire, or, she was believed to be a vampire. She had a padlock around her foot, and she had some sort of iron, they called it a sickle, around her neck, so presumably stopping her from returning when she was dead. So using DNA analysis, 3D printing and clay modelling, they painstakingly put together an image of her face. They did it muscle by muscle, and they reproduced an image of how she would have looked. And the idea behind this project was that they wanted to highlight her humanity. Obviously, the villagers feared her. They believed that she probably had some sort of health issue, which is why the villagers feared her. They don't know what that is. But it's really sad. That poor girl would have been terrified. So when they found her in 2022 and they worked out why she'd been buried the way she had, and obviously they saw the padlock and the iron sickle around her neck, they decided that they would bring her back to life, and they would create a picture of, an everyday human. But obviously, you know, these sorts of superstitions and fears and worries really shaped the way that we as people, only 400 years ago, would treat people in life and in death. There were other graves as well that they found in the area, other vampire graves. There was a child that was buried face down and had similar precautions. It's just really, really sad. It makes me wonder if we've got anything like that here at our cemetery. Not that I'm aware of, and I would love to know if there's some records. Maybe I'd be able to find out if there's any records of the people that are buried here and whether there are any interesting cases. I'll have to have a little word with the cemetery worker when I next see him out and about. But yeah, I just wanted to show you this. I thought it was a really touching story, and I thought it was really lovely that we've used science to give a face and an appearance to this poor girl who led a very young life and would have suffered probably quite terribly at the end of it. I'm assuming that she must have been executed in some way. She was only 18 to 20 years, and so that they could then sort of put these precautions on her and bury her. So yeah, a bit of a sad story there. Going over to some other, different sort of end of the spectrum with folklore. They believe that the first crop circle was recorded in 1678 in Hertfordshire in the UK. Now, it isn't really a proper sort of crop circle, as it were. Let me tell you the story. So they believe that in 1678, there was a farmer who was having a bit of an argument with a crop mower. The crop mower had given the farmer his price for mowing the farmer's field of oats, and the farmer was absolutely disgusted with the price that he'd been given. In fact, he was furious. He was so angry that he walked away from the mower and said, "Do you know what? The devil himself might as well do it." Now, apparently that night there were lights in the field. Now there are different descriptions of what happened, and obviously 1678 is a very long time ago, but apparently there were lights at night over the field, or the field looked as if it was like ablaze, like it was on fire. But the next morning the field itself was actually found to be completely mown, completely cut. Now this is where the sort of the controversy and the arguments and the debate starts, because crop circles, the crop is actually bent, and in this field it was all completely cut. However, they still cite this as the first ever recorded finding of a crop circle. Obviously we weren't there to witness it. Obviously this is a story coming from a time where people were superstitious. So if we think back to the Polish vampire, if we think back to poor Zosia, and obviously, we weren't there. But what a lovely story. I really, really like that. And I really like that we do have records, and we do have a little bit of writing from that time. And this event was referred to as the mowing devil. So the farmer was in complete shock the next day when he got up and the whole thing had been done. And I would suggest that the crop mower was in shock too, because he didn't get to do the work and he definitely didn't get paid. So I thought we'd take a little look at November's full moon, which will be at 100% on Saturday, November the 16th. So we've got just over a week to go. And many people refer to this as the Beaver Moon. Now, I just want to put it out there that most of the names of the moons that we see on social media actually come from Native American names. So some of them won't make sense to you if you're in the UK. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but you might think, well, we don't have that here. Well, this is the reason why. Obviously, you can come up with your own names for the moons. I have actually done that before. But anyway, apparently during this full moon, we are going to have the urge to manifest. We're going to have the urge to chase after those desires and dreams, and to really try and put them, make them solid and manifest them. We are going to feel a bit restless, apparently, due to this energy, due to us chasing the things that we really, really want. If we're not able to pin them down, then that's going to make us feel a bit fraught. And in terms of spells and rituals, apparently we should focus on drawing money, success in careers, and this is going to be a great time for any spells related to cleansing as well. And while we're on the kind of the topic of coming up with your own moon names and developing your own ideas about things, I do really want to sort of get across the message that it's okay to form your own opinions within witchcraft. Obviously, some things are fairly set in stone. So if we think about some of the magical correspondences related to or associated with the elements, for example, there are some areas of magic which aren't up for debate. However, it is okay to form your own opinions on some things. There is a reason why, you know, witchcraft and spiritual matters and things like that are called the mysteries, and that's because we don't necessarily have all the answers. Now, the example I want to give you is the idea that the veil is thin at Beltane. Now, I grew up reading some of the classical writers related to witchcraft, and I had older people around me that had their own views, and I was very much brought up believing that the veil is thin at Beltane, the same as it is at Samhain. Maybe to a lesser degree, but that it is indeed still thin, and this is a great time to, you know, make contact with fairies and spirits and reach across to the dead. And when you think of the energy of the time around Beltane, that sort of that push of life, that very strong energy, I feel that that is very much a thing. That makes sense to me. However, as I've become older, I have met other people and other teachers who have said that they don't feel that the veil is thin at Beltane and that this is reserved at Samhain. Now, I have my own opinion. I believe that it is thin at that time, and partly because when we're in the Northern Hemisphere celebrating Samhain, our brothers and sisters over in New Zealand and Australia, well, they are celebrating Beltane, and I don't believe that this is the sort of thing where it's only going to be thin for half of the world. That just does not make sense to me. And I know that doing opposites on the wheel of the year does not quite work. You know, for example, our Christmas celebrations are based on Yule. Our Northern European Germanic ancestors had the celebration of Yule, and that's where our Christmas practices have been taken from. And so down in Australia, they are celebrating Christmas at the same time as the summer solstice. So it doesn't work exactly in terms of, you know, opposites, but yeah, I don't feel that you can say that the veil is thin for only half of the world. You know, where does that line start and end? You know, is there an exact demarcation? I don't feel it's as linear or as formulaic as that. So this is why it's really, really important to think about things and to question things and to come up with your own answers when it comes to things, and to be confident that you're allowed your own opinion. I also think that the veil might be thinner at certain times for certain people. So, for example, around the time that a loved one passes, perhaps for a particular person, the veil might be a bit thinner for them because someone's about to pass over and loved ones are drawing near. Also around the anniversary of a death as well. Like, I feel like it would be easier for me to reach across and make contact or communicate with my grandmother around about the time that she died, or maybe her birthday. So that sort of opens up a little bit to me personally. So I don't think it's as sort of cut and dry as, you know, rules. I think we have to be a little bit creative and a little bit open-minded, and I think we are allowed to question things and we are allowed to form our own opinions. So I just wanted to get that message across. I'm really an advocate for intuitive witchcraft and for just sort of seeing what happens, you know, within my own path and my own journey and learning from that. It doesn't have to be that you read a book and that is something that is set in stone. Obviously, there are, you know, certain things that are generally held beliefs, but even then it's okay to question things. I think it's important that we do. It's important that we stay open-minded. So I'm going to do some cards now for everyone. It's just a quick one today. First of all, I'd like to give you a card from the Whispering Woods, because we've not used these cards in a little while. Let me know in the comments how your week has been, what you've been up to. I say week, it's been 2 weeks since I've been here, but yeah, let me know how your week has been. I'm just going to pick one of these for you guys for our message today. Okay. Right, that's the one. Okay. So we have got risk. Learn to grow wherever you are planted. I really like that message. I think that's really nice. Are we going to do tarot today, or are we going to leave it at that? I don't know. I feel like that is such a profound message. Risk. Learn to grow wherever you are planted. And I think there's actually two sides to that, isn't there? Because risk is about knowing when to take risk and when not to. So there is some level of intuition that's needed there, some level of knowledge. Like I've spoken about before, if you think about the word intuition, it means intuition. So it's about learning. And learning to grow wherever you are planted is about flexibility as well, isn't it? It's not necessarily about risk. So this card is sort of saying, you know, take a risk perhaps, and then go with the flow with whatever you end up with. So that's quite an interesting card, that one. We've not had that one up before, but I think that's quite a profound message. It feels like that's the only message that I should be giving you today. I have got my cards here, but the message to me is leave it there. And so that's what we're going to do. So on that note, I am wishing you an absolutely lovely week ahead. I hope it is full of joy, and I hope it continues to be a bit more settled after that strange energy of Samhain. Let me know in the comments, did you experience that as well? Or was it just me feeling that way? I did notice a couple of practitioners around the sort of time that I voiced it online saying the same actually. So I don't think I was the only one. But I'd like to hear what you guys thought. Did it feel kind of chaotic around Samhain? Did it feel unsettled? Does it feel better now? Or maybe it's the opposite for you. Maybe it felt settled then and now you're experiencing the opposite. I think we have to remember that when we think about things like astrology, it's going to be a different experience for everybody. All right, there might be an overall theme, but we each have our different birth charts made up of all sorts of you know, different bits of information, and also we all respond very differently to things and how we react to things. So yeah, something to think about. Right, wishing you an absolutely fabulous week, and I will be back next week with another episode. It'll be number 96. Still quite haven't worked out what I'm going to do for number 100. I have got some thoughts, but man, this is just such a busy time of year, isn't it? I'm sure it's the same for you all. I just feel like we're all running around like headless chickens when really we should be slowing down a bit and getting ready for winter. But anyway, right, have a lovely week. Sending love and blessings. Take care for now. Bye bye.